What's going on, everybody? We're back again with another video. In this video we will be going over my first impressions with the EOTECH Exps3-0. I recently just got this optic, and it was one of those optics that I've always wanted since I got into firearms, and just the amount of money that it was, I couldn't justify the purchase. But as I've been into guns for over 3 years now, I've started to understand why people would pay the amount of money for something like this, and I started to realize why and started to understand a little bit more. I will be talking about, you know, who this optic is best for, who would greatly benefit from it, and the people who may not, or just in general, is it actually worth the money? Now, first, I understand this is on one of my ARs. You guys might have seen this in other videos. I used to have the Romeo 5, but I replaced it. I also have a EOTECH G33 magnifier, which will be another video about my first impressions. So I took it off, so you know, you just see this. Now I will be putting pictures up showing you the reticle and stuff, but it's a nice sight. I paid, with everything in total, it came out to about $700, I would say. I guess I'll get into why I decided that I wanted this, or why in the beginning, why, you know, I wanted this optic. So first things first, it's a combat proven optic, okay, and that says a lot. It shows that in real world application, even to the extremes of war, this thing will hold up. So that's a big thing that I liked about it. That always, anything that's combat proven, I gravitate towards. That's just how I've always been, as far as when I first got into guns. Another thing is, you always hear that the reticle itself is fast, and it's a holographic sight. It's not a red dot. Granted, it works the same way as far as you put the dot on the target and you pull the trigger, but the actual technology involved, it's completely different. I guess a brief description: your red dot is an LED that's projected off a coated lens that goes back into your eye, right? Your holographic sight is a emitter that emits a laser that is reflected off multiple mirrors inside there. So that's basically how it works. So it's a little bit different. I'll go into pros and cons of this sight, okay? I'll start with the cons to get that out of the way, because there are a few cons. The number one con that I would say about this sight is the battery life. So it around 1,000, maybe a little bit less, so around 1,000 battery life, 1,000 hours, sorry, 1,000 hour battery life. And some people that don't know anything, they might think, oh wow, that's a good amount of battery life. Not compared to some other sites out there, okay? So your red dots is tens of thousands of hours, which is usually multiple years, you know. So the battery life is not great. Now I will say, in most circumstances, that's not going to be a huge issue. But maybe in like a shit hits the fan where it's apocalyptic and shit like that, that might be more of an issue, because unless you have spare batteries, then what are you going to do? So the next con I would say is it's big and bulky, which means it's going to be heavy. I guess it's going to add weight to your rifle. You just pick the thing up and you feel instantly how bulky it is. So if you're trying to have a lightweight rifle, this might not be the sight for you. And just to say this, I've shot with this optic on a few times, not a lot. So this is like a first impressions. This isn't a full-blown review, but this is just what I've gathered and stuff. Another con I would say is its price. And I understand, you know, it's worth it to some people. It's worth it to me, but to some others it might not be, and I'll explain. So let's say you're there's a new gun owner or potential gun owner, right? And they grab an AR or any type of rifle, right? Yeah, spending $700 on an optic is probably not the best financial move unless you have the money. Only because you can get a red dot, a SIG Romeo 5 or something like that. That's durable, but it's at a fraction of the cost of one of these. So I would recommend this sight to people who understand that this thing is battle proven, right? It's bomb proof basically. If you break the glass, it'll still work. You can still see the reticle. The reticle is really nice. It's actually my favorite. I actually like it a lot better. I wouldn't say a lot, but I like it better than your typical red dot. So, but for a new shooter, I wouldn't recommend buying one of these unless you have the money to splurge. If you don't, I would just go with something like a Romeo 5. That's what I did. I had a Romeo 5 for a while. You know, I still have it. It's just I've had it on this. I had the Romeo 5 on this rifle for a minute, and it works just fine. But I wanted to get this optic specifically because it was something that I wanted for a while. And as you can see, it's the tan version. The batteries for this sight they're CR123As. So they're not the most common battery, but they're also not the most uncommon. So that's one thing. And another cool thing about these batteries particularly is these batteries, the CR123As, they're in a lot of different like weapon lights. So right here, and I'll do a review on this product itself in another video. This is a Streamlight ProTac HLX. Takes those same batteries. So I keep extra batteries in here. I keep extra batteries in this grip right here. I'm gonna show you real quick. You know, and it could be for the light, or it could be for the sight. So I keep extra batteries just in case. And that's always smart. But yeah, the EOTECH Exps3 specifically. Now, if you don't know much about EOTECH, they have multiple different sight models, and they all have their differences. This one specifically is the mount is a QD mount. So if you can see right here, it's a QD, quick detach. So you can take it off and put it back on. I hear it's return to 0, but I don't want to do that. Take it off and risk that, so I just keep it on. Also the mount itself is a lower 1/3 co-witness. So if you have iron sights backups, which you see I have here, you know, I have flip ups, so they will be at the bottom lower 1/3 of that sight, which actually I do like a lot. I'm not 100% sure if I like it better than absolute co-witness, but I mean, I just started using this thing, so I gotta have time to kind of warm up to things. But I do like it though, I'm not gonna lie. Less clutter in your sight picture, I guess, is the best way to explain it. But yeah, that's my first impressions. Not too much to say, just with my opinions on it. I love the reticle, I really do. I don't know what it is about the reticle, I just really like it. But I will say, like I said, unless you have money to splurge, I wouldn't spend this much money on this on a optic if you're very new to the game. You know, work your way up, because this is not a cheap optic. Like I said, $700 for this thing, which is as much as a lot of guns, you know. But yeah, so that's my first impressions, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. If you got any advice for the EOTECH Exps3-0, just let me know. Another quick thing about this sight that I didn't mention real quick is it's night vision compatible. So you hit the NV button right here, it'll go really dim to the point where you can't see it unless you have night vision. Also, the way you turn it on is, you see you got the up and down arrows. You press the down one, it'll stay on for 4 hours and then cut off. If you press the up one, it'll stay on for 8 hours and then cut off. So this thing doesn't stay on forever, it always shuts off, partly to save battery life because its battery life is poor. But everything about this thing is pretty cool. I like the big window, you know, the big window is pretty nice. And yeah, so, but that's all I got, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to everybody's channel, Mark's channel, our podcast channel, and all of that. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like the content, and only if you like the content. Any suggestions, let me know. I'm coming back on the YouTube, trying my best. And yeah, so be patient. Got some more content coming. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.